Whatever you're looking for sometimes finds you. I was at a real interesting place in my life, crossroads-wise. I was trying to transition, creeping up on the big 5-0, and I had to find something. I was going through a big personal development revival. I never heard anything about Tony Robbins. I know he's been around for a long time, but Tony Robbins became my disciple. My train rides in, I read his books and listened to his podcasts and YouTubes like they were the Bible. You know, those conversations on the beach that like, oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What's the next chapter of our lives? Became more and more passionate and more detailed. And then so when I walked through the doors of this mom step aerobic classes, I described it to my wife. I said, what am I doing here? I was pissed off. It was the end of I was up at 4 in the morning to get on a train to race back to get to this 8 o'clock at night class. As I'm walking out the door, as I'm dripping in sweat, I stop and they start doing this power talk. And I listened to the guy, and he's quoting Tony Robbins. And I thought that was no accident. Came back the next day and the next day and the next day, and I realized that these people weren't here just for the exercise. This was something visceral. This was something real. There was passion behind not only the people in the classroom, there was a passion with that person up front. It wasn't someone just barking stuff out. They had a real desire and a care and a level of attention that I felt didn't exist. And in fitness, we went one extreme completely to the other. We went high cost personal training to this low cost 10, 12 bucks a month, walk on a treadmill to nowhere. And I thought this is really, in 45 minutes, changed my whole view of everything. And as I started to get more and more into it and started to develop relationships with the people in the class in the first center I was at as a member, they really said I wouldn't go anywhere else because this is my family. 6 months later, I am literally walking out of my job, the whole Jerry Maguire goldfish in hand. I'm out, and yet here I am 2 years later, 2 franchises in my belt, and my thing was this. I came to this crossroads in my life. I knew I wanted to do more. I knew that banking was the end-all be-all. And this gave me the platform, the area and the arena really to do so much, not just to transform people's bodies, which I think is an amazing thing. But the other part of it was the personal development aspect of it. And as I started walking through this, I realized that to change people on the outside, we really had to change them on the inside. And all of a sudden, you become that sum of the 5 people you're around. And I knew I needed to be around these people because these people are just, it is their life passion to transform lives. Dean Graziosi has a great quote, sell them what they want, but give them what they need. And I honestly think we do that. We sell people on the idea of weight loss, which is amazing, but we give them what they need is really help between the ears. That space is where people don't pay enough attention to. And to get people through things like loss, big losses of children and parents and spouses and addiction and all kinds of things that we struggle with. If I could touch and help somebody in some meaningful way, that to me is more gratification than I could ever get in my 27 years of banking. I can name the 10 best trades I ever did. Pale in comparison to what I've done in terms of changing people's lives. The impact, my first half of my life, I always say, was about getting. The second half, I want to be about giving. And this is really what it's all about for me.